we are United by Rice, where we talk about all things related to AA NHPI and entertainment, creative spaces, and beyond. I'm one of your co-hosts, Junko Goda.
And I'm Ben Lee. It is great to talk to you, Junko, and
Hey,
happy summer. I guess we really haven't talked too much about summer, although
True.
part of our slow start in our season 2
Yeah.
was that at least I had some summer plans, but you also have some summer plans. You have Anime Expo coming up.
Yes. So we are recording this on Tuesday, June 30th, and Anime Expo kicks off in 2 days, which is on a Thursday. I have personally been working Anime Expo. This will be my 10th year.
10 years, like in a row, 10 years.
Yeah. So I have never. It's been a while since I've seen 4th of July fireworks. There have been some years where I have half a day on the 4th of July, so I can go to a barbecue and stuff, but most of the time, 4th of July is like in the middle of Anime Expo, so I'd rather just go home and stuff my face with junk food and sleep. And I do have my dogs as well this year. I just have like my ex like take care of them, and they're pretty bomb proof. Copper, my older one, actually enjoys fireworks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. So just a note for everyone: Copper
like the sound, not the visuals. I'm assuming
no,
the sound.
all of it.
Oh.
This is what happened. So, note for everyone: my older dog Copper is was a voluntary rescue. Kind of was not in great shape. So I've known him for about 2 years. I got him in he came to this household in like January, February of 2024. That summer, I was like, we have a backyard kind of landing in the backyard, and I was walking past because I would leave the door open with a screen, and he's just sitting there on the landing, just watching the fireworks in full. Like he's just sitting there.
That's so interesting.
It is, yeah. But the theory is that he has only had Latino owners. And I saw a funny like TikTok video or something of you start with a zoomed in dog that's asleep on a couch, and you zoom out, and it says like, you have a Latino dog when it zooms out, he's like in the middle of this massive party and he's just passed out. It could be that.
So the assumption is just used to a lot of noise.
Like,
big family gatherings, that type of thing.
And then my younger one is usually freaked out, but because like all of us, and Copper sets a good example, so he's like, oh, I don't need to be afraid. So it's starting to get there, and I think I talked about this in our episode that we recorded last around this time. My key is to turn on my Netflix and turn on Extraction 2. Thank you, Chris Hemsworth. because the sound design of the gunfire is actually the same pitch as all the fireworks, at least in my neighborhood.
So interesting.
Yeah.
If our show ever went viral, then is it not Netflix? Like Netflix would wonder, boy, why do we get so many Extraction 2 views on July 4th?
4th of July, yep.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yep. And it's on repeat, like in my house. It's just on repeat actually, I think we start with Extraction 2, and by the evening, just kind of go to Extraction 1, and then just keep playing anything that has gunfire in it, and just, raise the volume a little bit, and it's fine.
Okay, I have to come back to Extraction, but we should say, related to Anime Expo a little bit, our guest for this show, or interview later on this episode, is a gentleman named Gabriel Prevost-Takahashi, who is actually in the new season of Avatar. We talked to Yvonne Chapman in our last episode, but spent more time talking about the season, so we can talk a little bit about Avatar.
Oh, and show called The Season.
Correct. We always
because you just said the season. I was like, the season of what?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's still
Marketing
happening
issue.
To me. Yeah. We have to preface it with the show, and it's on. The season is on Hulu.
Correct.
No,
Disney and Hulu. Yes.
Okay.
And Avatar is on Netflix.
So, okay.
I think we'll have one or two more guests from Avatar, and probably one more guest actually from the season. So it is definitely, these are two shows that are definitely top of mind for the Asian American diaspora right now.
Yes.
Okay, back to Extraction. I've not watched. Usually it's Usually it's you that hasn't watched things.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't watched either of these films. Are they good? Besides the noise
usefulness of
canceling?
they were pretty entertaining. Chris actually does a good job, and I think and considering I watch it once a year on repeat, I kind of don't remember who they were extracting or what it was about. It just turns, I don't know, it just has become one of those 4th of July go-to movies.
Yeah.
So
sounds like just kind of fun action more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say in the vein of the Jason Bournes, pretty quick paced, and yeah. So I think it'll end up being just running on the TV while I'm doing other stuff around the house. Yeah. But
those will be good things to watch.
Avatar.
Yeah. Well, so we talked to Gabriel, and actually we could talk probably about a couple projects. He talked about a couple projects. One is, of course, Avatar. And then the second is I actually watched, after our interview with him, voicemail.
Yes,
voicemails for Isabelle.
Yes.
Did you watch that by any chance?
I have not. Just for FYI, voicemails for Isabelle is on Netflix, and Gabriel is he's actually credited as Gabriel Prevost, but he is Baker number 2.
Baker number 2. Yes. Yeah.
It's still very interesting. Yeah.
He is indeed Baker number 2. I did watch the film. It's actually very good, so I can understand the hype it's getting. And you probably know I'm not typically one to be in the mood to watch a rom-com these days. But I put it on and it was delightful. It's Isabelle is the sister of the main character, played by Zoe Deutsch, and she's lovely in this film. She's funny. She's very, like, of all your leading rom-com actresses over the years, she just brings that really good fun, both I don't know. I don't know how to describe her, but she's really fun to watch. Like
a hero, like our heroine who we know is going to deliver the happily ever after in this rom-com. Kind of
she has, what she has? I think she has that Anna Kendrick vibe to her, but probably is able to go and you've probably heard it. There are several kind of tearjerker moments in this film, and so it's not just the goofy romantic comedy part that she plays, but she also plays like some very emotional scenes and does it really, really well. So
wow,
I'm sure I'm sure she's on some popular other shows, and that's how she got onto this. But
I can look it up really quick.
Yeah, but I didn't really know her, so she's really good. And Gabriel, her job is a chef.
As a chef,
and so he's in several scenes and shares screen time with her, as well as Nick Offerman, who plays kind of the Gordon Ramsay type of character in that restaurant. I'm just you've got a similar career as Gabriel in some ways, right? In that you're, he's done some voice work, he's got some background roles, but now he's in this and he's in Avatar.
Voicemail. Yes.
And he's in Avatar, which, have you watched all of Avatar?
Not the new season, which just dropped like last Friday.
Last Thursday. And you said you said he is a
he's an earthbender.
Earthbender.
Yes.
Does he do you imagine, do they talk a lot in these shows, or is he more kind of action-y?
No, it sounds like there's the interesting thing about Avatar, other than like, I felt like even at the animation level, which was running in the late 90s, early 2000s, I've always felt that their characters that they make are always pretty three-dimensional, and never anything cookie cutter. And I feel that, like, his role obviously is not as big as like the leadership in the Earth Kingdom and stuff like that, but I always feel that Avatar, for an actor, like, you can bring a lot to it, and they're okay with that, because like there's no role that like, oh, you should just be here to deliver information and then go away and disappear so we don't remember you. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way with Avatar. I feel like, at least.
Okay. Well, and he mentioned he's in 4 episodes.
Yes. So that's significant.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, I never know how to phrase a question to an actor themselves in one of our interviews, right? But Yvonne made the comment in our interview about how she never takes it for granted, right? Like, she may be in the spotlight now, she's got the season, she's got Avatar, but she also has this Oliver Stone role coming up.
Right.
So definitely having a moment. And yet she doesn't take it for granted. She knows that could be it. She knows that, and there's so many actors out there that, they have a moment, but then they don't take advantage of it. So for someone like Gabriel, what is the decision that you make next, right? He's this like up and coming, right? Used to be more of a model, was discovered,
Japan,
discovered on the street, basically.
And to our audience, you will be hearing about that in the episode.
Yeah, so such an interesting background that, frankly, you hear that from women more often, that type of story, right? But I'm just curious, like, how I imagine if I were him, right, and I'm building my career, I'm like so excited right now because
because he's pretty much at in the TV world would be like guest star level,
right?
So
right,
so his trajectory, the next would be like being part of an ensemble TV show, at least on TV level. Ensemble or lead. And he's young enough that he can probably slide into maybe like someone's college age son kind of thing, let's say, as well. So more like a TV show that's family structured. So he could be like a regular. So he wouldn't be the lead, but what is regular role.
What does this even look like? Like, what does he do, right? Because his face is out there now, right? He's probably doing a little bit of media for both, but more than anything, both of these properties are going to get a lot of views. What does he do? Because he can't sit around and wait, right, for the phone to call.
He's already done the thing about hiring a publicist.
Yeah.
So in this case, and some of our audience knows, like, sometimes I can pull from people I know, which I haven't been doing a whole lot in the last maybe 6 months, but I will catch up. And so obviously hiring a publicist to get stuff out there. And I mean, he does have his own project that is really, the more clout he picks up, the more that will have a better chance of being produced. So at least he has something to work on if the phone isn't ringing. And at this point, I mean, his agents really have something to shop around with. And say like yes or no to things. And he might be at the stage where he can start saying no to some things. Like, he can definitely say no to co-stars, or because of Avatar, his agents might have a conversation saying, okay, like, I'm looking at his IMDb, but okay, Baker number 2, you cannot take those anymore. They might decide on that. Or if it's Baker number 2, renegotiate with production and be like, hey, can you give me a name?
A name, maybe a line.
Name as in
lines.
But he, as Baker 2, had several lines.
I don't think he does, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think.
I mean, he might. Sorry, he probably does have. I'm thinking of the movie, and there are some scenes where,
she's in the kitchen and he's
or Nick Offerman asks, hey, who here wants to do this? And I think he maybe gets an opportunity to answer. But they're quick. He's not involved in dialogue or anything like that. Yep.
Yeah. So the conversation is probably something like, okay, the agent's saying, all right, when we see this, we're not going to submit you on this anymore. Or else, depending on the level of the production, if it's more kind of a high level indie, they could go back and be like, he's interested in the story, but he is like Baker number 2. Can you actually give him a name and like a little bit, and be Offerman's like actual workmate friend, and be like, hey Tim, that kind of thing, to showcase him more. So depending on the project, you could do that, but the conversation might be, no, you're gonna not do things like and if you go back, like he was Grey Guard in Shogun in 2024. If I was his agent, I'd be like, I'm not gonna submit you on that anymore. If casting asks for you because of a relationship that the agent has, that might be a conversation. But I think most of casting kind of knows.
Sure.
Like, well, no, they're like, oh, we're not gonna send co-star stuff.
So what I'm hearing from you, and I only bring this up not to downplay what he's accomplished, but more to, we've interviewed several young and up and coming actors, and more and more I think about this topic of what are the decisions they need to make, especially to take advantage of this moment they have where they've got a little bit of spotlight on them. And so what you are saying, which I guess at the end of the day makes perfect sense and translates to probably any industry, is you're going to have to be a little bit more patient and not accept anything that comes to you, which a few years ago you might have, right? You might have been like, oh, commercial, I'll do it, this and that. But now it's about, you know what, let's keep moving up the credits, basically.
Pretty much,
have a name, have lines, pick good projects, and hopefully you do that for a year or two. At some point you run out of that, and and then I think you're right. The fact that I think the other thing about being involved in his other work that he's doing around producing another project, sounds like he's got a troupe, right, of other TV filmmakers that. This is what we see. We see Ryan Coogler and his group of people start from small indie films and then move all the way up, right? Yeah,
and Vancouver has a very strong Asian Canadian scene as well, and a lot of festivals and a lot of grants and opportunities to develop stories like this. So, although I think part of the conversation with the Asians should be, if you get an opportunity, be Soldier number 2 in Steven Spielberg's movie, you're not going to say no to that.
Sure, that's very different. Yes.
Yeah. So in TV and film, that's kind of film. It's a little bit harder. Like film would be like, oh, can I read the script or something like that would happen. With TV, it's a little bit more straightforward in that, okay, you are done with co-stars. We're only going to do guest star and above for you.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, since we are going to have more Avatar episodes, we should at least peel back the onion a bit. I've never watched Avatar. I've never read Avatar. I've never watched the cartoon version of Avatar. I even made this background, and I don't know what this creature is with the big horns.
Do your kids know?
No. So,
oh my God! This is the time when you will introduce your kids to Avatar.
Okay,
and you will watch it. Yes.
So let me, and there's so many people on the show that I like so many people, right? Of course, Daniel Day Kim, Tamlin Tomita, right? A couple of the real legends in icons in our space, but like Yvonne, I think I've talked about Maria Zhang before, who plays Suki, who I've met a few times at different events, like absolutely adore her. And then of course Gabriel, and there's just so many people, and then all the young stars that actually play the main characters. So I assume it's really good. Now, if you're saying I should watch it with my kids, where do I start? Do I start with just simply Netflix season 1, or should I go and watch the cartoons?
I think you should actually start with the cartoons.
Okay.
Which were originally from Nickelodeon, and I can't remember the original creators. I've actually met them. Once upon a time, I was actually attached to Netflix's Avatar, like pre-COVID, in pre-production. And I mean, this is already public in the trades, but there was a split between the Avatar original creators who came in from Nickelodeon. They were at Netflix. There was a split. There was a creative split. So the original creators are doing their own thing. Netflix apparently, with the deal itself, had the rights to continue creating the live action. So I don't know what kind of back end thing, was the negotiations. So that was very interesting, but it was in the trades. The original creators during the process said bye-bye to Netflix. But we still have I think a really great live action for sure.
Well, and I need to think about what you said. You said the
Mhm.
show started out on Nickelodeon, the cartoon?
Yeah, the animation. Yeah. It was
So
originally Nickelodeon.
this isn't like original Japan manga.
No. So it's actually like two white guys. They're very crunchy guys.
Okay.
Crunchy as in like they're really down to earth. Like they're animators, so like they're totally nerdy. Oh yeah, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konetsko.
Okay.
Konetsko? Yeah. So it's Michael and Brian. That's right. Were the original creators at Nickelodeon. So I'm like, where is okay for Avatar: Last Airbender? I don't know where you can see Nickelodeon stuff.
The original ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up really quick.
And because now I know that there are Earthbenders by meeting Gabriel.
It's on Netflix, so everything's on Netflix. So you could just go in and live on Netflix for a few weeks. Start with.
There's clearly Earthbenders and Airbenders. Are there basically benders of all the elements? Okay.
Yeah. So Earth, Fire, Water. Earth, Fire, Water, Wind, and that's actually part of the intro in the cartoons.
Okay.
That's how every episode starts.
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't know how interested my kids will be when I say, "Hey, let's watch Avatar." They might think of the blue people, right?
Right.
Could you start watching the live action and still understand
especially especially season one. Season one pretty much mirrors the cartoon.
Okay.
So it's totally doable. Obviously the expressions in cartoon world are going to be a little bit more
different,
funnier, exaggerated. There's that.
Well, are you happy with because I know it's a huge hit, so I imagine people are generally happy, but are you happy with the adaptation?
Yeah. Season one, season two. I was a little bit nervous once the original creators had left the production, so I was really curious how it would turn out. I thought it visually turned out gorgeous. The direction was good. And I think the big part is that the kids who are cast in season one, they already grew up with Avatar, so they already know the world building, the comedy, and the relationships. Most of these, when we interviewed Mia as well. Wait, no, we didn't interview Mia. Just kidding. Hopefully, we will have Mia. She's our lead Earthbender. I will call her mom.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'll call her mom for that. So I think so Mia I had seen on TV during an interview, but everyone who has been doing interviews who are new to season two, they're like, I grew up with this. I love it so much already. So that's why it's really interesting, especially all these kids are much younger, being like, it's such an honor to do this. And they really mean that. And this might be their first time stepping into a role that they've grown up with and look up to.
Sure.
To be young and really understand, like, oh, this is a true honor. And, it's the casting process is very competitive, Well, there's only one character, one actor.
Super, I think, kind of dumb question. But we've obviously met and talked to and named actors that are Korean, that are Japanese, that are Chinese. Does this live in any type of world of Asia, or is it just happen to be... So then why is it an all Asian cast? I think it's an all Asian cast, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much. Oh yeah. That's how the show was. I think it would have to go to the original intentions of the show. And I remember reading an article about it like way once upon a time, but I think the intention was that they were looking at the elements, and I think the creators knew that it had to be like Asia related, so they really committed to it.
It was kind of Buddha, more kind of probably ties into like Buddhism and
and all the philosophies. Right? And also, I think Avatar was one of the first cartoons that kind of the style also overlaps with anime. And contextually speaking, this is still the late 90s when Avatar: The Last Airbender came along. So I think because I'm rarely drawn to American style cartoons, but Avatar really had a nice, because I believe a lot of their artists were Korean as well. They're animators, I believe, when you look at the credits. So it was a nice little marriage between American style and more Asian
I see.
style.
I see.
So that's what I personally was drawn to, the art as well.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, we can unpack more of it in future episodes.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll.
I really want to
I
know
will
if your
go watch
kids.
it, and I will go watch it.
Yeah. I'm really wondering if your kids haven't been exposed to it yet, if they'll like lock into it or not.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, I will let you know. Well, we should probably end right here. But thank you again, and thank you all for listening. We are United by Rice on Spotify and iHeartRadio and everywhere else that you can find podcasts. United by Rice podcast on Instagram, and enjoy the interview with Gabriel. Cheers.
Bye. And we're back with Gabriel Prevost-Takahashi. We were warming up for this, and there's Avatar, but then like everything else came out. So hopefully we will have a nice juicy episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, welcome. Yeah, welcome, Gabriel. So excited to talk to you because of the numerous projects that probably not everybody knows about yet. So we'll get into that. But we should start with Avatar.
Totally.
It's obviously a beast of a property. I admittedly am only coming to it through its Netflix version. I was never a fan of it, of the manga or the previous cartoon versions. I think Junko has a lot more expertise there. But tell us what it was like for you to sign on to get brought into that world.
I'm sure, as you know, absolute dream come true. And I was such a fan of that series originally. And for me, I blinked and I was 11 years old in the back of my friend's car on the trip to a hockey tournament in the middle of Alberta, Canada. And I'm looking out the horizon, and you're watching the DVD version, and I look at it, and it's Ba Sing Se. And I blink, and present day, I look down, and I've got boots and 50 pounds worth of armor on, and I'm actually in Ba Sing Se. So that was a surreal full circle moment. And, the universe absolutely has its way of coming things together. So that was... it was an emotional moment once I found out I joined the cast for season 2, and through a long auditioning process, and of course the treat of when you first get onto set and everything. But it was an absolute fulfilling, soul enriching moment, especially as such a rich Asian show as well too.
And we know the season's about to air. Can you tell us more about the air date, and then of course the character that you're going to play, and how often we're going to see you?
Totally. Yeah. And, of course, without revealing too much, today there's the special premiere, the live stream premiere with Tudum on Netflix for those who have signed up. Super excited for those who get that pre-release preview. And we have our official release on Thursday. So, of course, a little nervous, especially for something that is so just close to your heart and everything. And I'm playing an earthbender. His name is Kedri. I can only speak about it too much because there is a lot of moments that involve secrecy and reveals with this character. Just like the city of Ba Sing Se, this is a city of many, many secrets and many walls, right? So I'm just another citizen at the end of the day who has his own opinions, and I'm just doing what I think is right for the city. So I'm very excited for people to see that come Thursday. You'll see me for about 4 episodes. So that's all. We'll leave the rest.
Great.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. And Mia. So Mia is a friend of mine. I guess her stage name is now Miyako. So Mia and I were friends, and she was on local news here, and I was like, there, Avatar marketing, it kicks off kind of thing. She's a fellow earthbender. I don't know if you can tease anything. She really just stuck to her character, how she worked on her characters, but she didn't really lead on to like Yeah, Bo Sing-se, that world. We saw her first as a reveal. Maybe it's already on the internet, but her first introduction. That clip has been in making its rounds, but that's about it. I don't know if you can tease anything about your fellow Earthbender.
Of course, as my fellow inspiration for sure. And quick shout out to Miyako, who's an incredible performer. There's only so much we can say. We're just gonna have to wait for people to really enjoy this. We have just such season 2 coming up, and just like Miyako and the rest of the gang, the main cast, so much more of an elevated series this time around. There's a lot more darker drama. As we know, we have a bit of a time jump with the characters, but with the actors themselves, that 3-4 year jump since season 1. And I'm just, I want the viewers to enjoy it, but it's, Toph in itself has an amazing duty to Ba Sing-se, like myself, with my character. I think people are going to really enjoy. And she's
actually,
she's saying for good reason.
And actually, she did talk about her training that she had to do. And, this is not a reveal, Ben, but Toph is, like, she's blind. So that's a layer that Mia had to work on. But did you two, because you're Earthbenders, did you end up training together a lot too, because you're in the same style, or were your schedules just all over the place and it wasn't possible?
Schedules are, of course, kind of all over, because, such a humongous production. And, sometimes we're running 4 sound stages, and then on top of it, they're shooting on location in Vancouver, Canada. As far as the stunt trainings and stuff, we were never aligned, but, we're always, once we're actually on the ground, boots on the ground on set in the trailers, in the tents and stuff, we'll be kind of moving around together,
like syncing up.
She's such her precision and execution with her movements that we'll see. But some moments is when we're in the tents, I would be practicing a little bit, and then she'll be like, "No, it's like this," nice. In Toph fashion. So, you'll see. But
okay, excited to see that.
Well, exciting. Your face is going to be all over Netflix soon, because there's another project that you're a part of, Voicemails for Isabelle, that kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. I just saw it pop up, and then I've seen it just stay in the top 1 or 2 positions for top films being watched on Netflix right now. What was it like to be on that project? And I think you share, or you're at least in some scenes with a couple of the actors that obviously star in the film. Very special project, again, to my heart. My dad is a chef, and that's how we grew up, and he brought food to the table, no pun intended. So to play a baker professionally, or this high grade Michelin star level chef in this super fun rom-com directed by Leah McKendrick, led by awesome Zoe Deutsch, Lucas Gage, Nick Robinson, and Nick Offerman as well too. It's amazing seeing the reception. I'm such a fan of rom-coms, the 2000 era rom-coms. So it's such a feel-good thing, and I've been loving the trend of people recording themselves before and then after, and people's just bawling their eyes out and stuff. And and then of course, Harry Shum Jr. is on that too, and he's just so magnetic. One of my inspirations for sure. And so having that representation for him, playing such a big role in that too, was cool to just be attached, but super fun. It's amazing seeing that film has gone #1 on Netflix, and I'm just glad people are enjoying it, and made some amazing friends. I spent, as some of us have seen already, I've spent a lot of time with Nick Offerman and Lucas Gage, who are just such great, fun people to be around. Nick was kind of like our set dad for a week, always making sure it was okay, and really quickly, on the last day of filming, he brought his famous Lagavulin whiskey from Parks and Recreation.
Yes, I'm a whiskey drinker, so yes.
Gave everybody a shot,
nice.
And that was so cool. Such a cool touch to have Ron Swanson's character's whiskey in our green room. It's super cool. But
I feel like for at least 2-3 years after that show, his persona never left Ron Swanson. I feel like so much of Ron, the woodworking, so much of that is actually him. but I think it was probably The Last of Us,
Oh,
where I think he showed the world that, oh, he's a different type of actor too, and now
oh,
he's getting all kinds of parts again, which is great.
yeah, yeah, and
So
yeah,
what a blast!
totally. That episode was just beautiful of
Yeah.
The Last of Us, and yeah, so it's I'm and like circling back to Miyako as well too. I'm just I gained so much inspiration from watching performances and seeing people's aura in real time. And Nick was such a so funny, like you said, carries his bits from Parks and Rec to Last of Us, and it's just such an inspiration as well. So
you mentioned Harry Shum Jr. as being someone that you look up to. Do you have a dancing skill set as yourself?
Yeah, I want to get better for sure. I do have a bit of a musical background, mainly with drumming and a bit of jazz, and I've sung a bit of jazz as well. But no, not to Harry's level, but I'm working on it for sure.
Yeah,
I love to learn like tango or like salsa.
Well, so if you take these two projects, Avatar, clearly a predominantly Asian cast, and then you've got something like voicemails for Isabelle that doesn't have to be an Asian cast, and they're just casting Asian actors. I'm curious, not to repeat a question that I always ask, I'll kind of change it.
Yeah.
How do you think the industry has changed for actors like yourself since maybe Crazy Rich Asians? Because at that moment, and Harry was a part of that film too, it almost felt like we were about to hit a renaissance. But then the industry itself is also changing, and the political environment's also changing. Are you finding opportunities increasing for yourself, or has it actually gone the other way in some ways?
I think yeah, that's a great question, and it's a very interesting dynamic, especially being in Vancouver, where we're such a servicing city, where we have a lot of projects internationally from the US, either coming, for tax credits to save here, or not just the American projects internationally coming here. And yeah, quick shout out to Crazy Rich Asians, though they, the classic saying, they ran so we could walk, and amongst so many other projects. But that, I felt that was such a crazy splash that, yeah, people love that movie, and I guess add to that recognition finally of Asian American, Asian Canadian, and all over the world talent. And I think if anything, it has increased a lot of opportunities. I really believe everything happens for a reason, and for all we know, if it wasn't for that movie creating such a huge impact, would we have had things like Everything Everywhere All at Once, or being processed more in the timeline, or like Shogun, for example, hitting the waters here. I definitely think the opportunities have increased, and again, amazing seeing Shogun sweep the Emmys as well last year, just to show people what's really going on, and just showcasing amazing talent. So I think it does increase opportunities. We still have a long way to go. Very grateful to have people like Daniel Day Kim on set for Avatar, who's right now really, and has been hammering home ethnic specific casting. It's still being an issue sometimes, but working on that. And again, him as his caliber leading the way right now, like one of the members leading the way, is super inspirational. But yeah, of course, like anything, we still have lots to learn, and lots to unlearn, and it's a great process. But I think it's a great road ahead. And yeah, really quick with like heated rivalry as well too, shout out my fellow classmate and friend Hudson Williams to do that splash as Shane Hollander was amazing too. So I think the future is bright for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talked about Daniel Day Kim and some of the comments he's made, and your last name is a hyphen. So does that? I'm assuming are you mixed half?
I am.
What's the phrase now? We say Weisians.
Oh yeah.
On the Weisian train, Weisian wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm half Japanese and half French Canadian. My mom is from Tokyo, Japan. Alongside myself, I was born in Tokyo, and my father is from Montreal. So half French, half Japanese Canadian, and yeah.
Yeah. So the controversial question along kind of the same thinking around Daniel Day Kim is, I actually used to think maybe it was harder for a Asian actor or a mixed actor because they didn't cleanly fall in either category. But like you highlighted, Heated Rivalry and a number of other actors right now that are half or mixed Asians. It almost is like we're seeing that particular mix become very wanted in film and television, and there's been a little bit of discourse about that. So, kind of just from your point of view, like, has that evolved? Have you found it hard to navigate, whether it's auditions or when you're sending in your reel and you have a hyphenated last name, and what are they going to think of that? Like, what is that? How have you managed that over your career, and has that changed at all?
Yeah, it's a interesting landscape to navigate, but I think it changes day by day. For me, it feels like, there's been moments where I myself have not found opportunities, and then maybe the other way around, 6 months later, there's maybe lesser opportunities for full Asians and stuff like that. But it's a tricky one to answer. I think we're all trying to do our best here. We still have a long way to go as far as inclusivity and having everybody have roles and everything too. But it just varies place by place. When I was acting a bit in Japan too, I definitely found a lot of difficulty, obviously immersing into a full Japanese crowd there. It just that was like what was programming at the time. But I think there's definitely a long way to go, and I want to answer that question, but I think I'm not quite at a conclusion yet.
Actually, Gabriel, did you? Oh, sorry, I'm going to jump in really quick. Did you say you moved to Canada? How old were you?
We moved originally when I was 4 years old, and then I moved back to Japan full time in 2018, 2019 for 3 years.
Oh, okay. Did you feel because like you and I know that mixed heritage people in Japan are completely, it's a different subculture than or in North America, really. Did you find like a culture shock, like a secondary culture shock, being mixed heritage?
I think going back home, it was so interesting. It's you spend a lot of time doing vacations going back to Japan, but the second that you're actually there to move, it's a completely different ball game. So there absolutely was a culture shock. What I thought is, like, I feel like I look more Japanese on my side. You have, people there that are like, oh, your nose is too high to be fully Japanese, or like,
they'll nitpick. Like, everyone will nitpick.
Totally. But it's, such an observational, people. So, and not in a bad way or anything, but there was a bit of a culture shock for sure, but it was in a good way. Obviously Asia is such a different world, and there was so much to learn, and got a lot of discipline through it too. It can be a very tough life over there. So, but I definitely learned that as far as building discipline with myself, career. So, culture shock in good and bad ways, I think.
And then how many years did you end up working in Japan, or do you still like keep up an agent there, or?
I don't have any representation out there right now. That's something that we're currently in talks with, but I was there for 3 years from 2018 to 2021, and
oh my god, like into the COVID.
it was a very just a constant timeline of like what's happening, and Japan is such an electric, art-rich country, and especially Tokyo has an amazing art scene that I was able to find work pretty much right away. It was, of course, still difficult, but I had incredible opportunities that kickstarted me to where I am. And for me, I had a bit of a fashion modeling background, and I was discovered on the streets by, again, I have to shout out so much of my to where I am today, to Leslie Key, who's this amazing Singaporean Japanese photographer that many people are familiar with his work. He's shot everybody from Beyonce to Gaga to Karl Lagerfeld. He discovered me on the streets, and it's incredible. These things just happen in Japan, you know, like I met Bieber on the streets too, and Kate Moss and stuff like that. So yeah, that was where I cut my teeth, through Vogue Taiwan. That was my debut, through Leslie Key, who found me, and I was able to do a lot of other great works. Got to showcase Casio, G-Shock, and tons of other great things in Japan. So yeah, it was such a world building, just character building experience.
Well, we'd all like to act in big projects like you're currently doing, but you also have to have an income. How are you balancing your kind of portfolio of work now between modeling, acting? I know you also do some video game work, voice work, and then are you still? I think you're writing also, right? So, in terms of how you're managing your day and your time, how do you allocate that?
Yeah, that's been the hardest part. You know, time management, oxymoron, but yeah, it's just I think, you know, staying as you know, maintaining energy and everything, and yeah, like as you mentioned, and kind of going back to Vancouver again, just this amazing city of great, rich art, servicing city. I was lucky enough to do that video game with a fellow castmate from Avatar, Momona Tamada, who plays Ty Lee. Her and I led this video game, Forza Horizon 6, again, all set in Japan, and the reception on that has been awesome. So we were on that for about 6 to 8 months. And in between that, I was, just working on other projects as well too. But it's like the name of the game is just, maintaining energy. But we're very lucky in Vancouver, just such an immersive city with like great art and a great indie community as well too, and many creatives that you can lean on for work and help too. And then, really quickly about the writing, again, I'm doing it with a great group of Asian creatives that I met on set. The story is about the go for broke Japanese Americans who fought for the US in World War II, and such an important story to, you know, arguably the liberation of Asian Americans to be able to have what they have today are thanks to those people. And that group of, you know, it wasn't just Japanese Americans, there were Koreans in that unit as well too, and some Chinese and Vietnamese people as well too, and that was a limited series that we wrote for this competition with Bell Media in Canada and the Vancouver Asian Film Fest, to where we finished third in Canada. So currently developing that, just taking our time on it. We have some great stuff. They really loved our pilot, but we just want to do justice with that story. So we're just taking our time and perfecting the characters and everything. And
what's the name of the? Is there a working name or an actual name for what the series would be called?
Yeah, just a tentative working title. We literally go for broke. It's just a great slogan, right? And the whole, you know, for those who aren't familiar, that go for broke meaning was that they had everything completely stripped from them. You know, just regular citizens, unfortunately, with the circumstance where they had to be put into incarceration, into the camps. They had their businesses taken away and their lives taken away for 10 cents a piece. And they were sitting in these camps. And when they had the opportunity to enlist, they were like, this is crazy, but let's go for broke. You know, we have nothing but to prove ourselves for our freedom. So just an amazing title there.
Yeah, the and you described it, so it sounds like you've shot a pilot, or some of a pilot at least.
Just written,
Written, okay. And then is it I assume it's not documentary. It sounds like it's a narrative, obviously based on real history.
Yeah, a narrative, and the idea is to have at each episode, the story engine is a moral about Asian values that are I think what they kept with them to keep them going, you know, through camaraderie, courage, just selflessness, which is so much of the story for them they didn't have to enlist, but they said, prove ourselves, right? And classic Asians working so hard. It's just, sometimes we don't have to do it for anything, but just to prove maybe themselves or for other generations ahead. family is everything in Asian culture. So yeah, I think we're excited to develop that further, but yeah, taking our time because we don't want to rush that story. And it's in good hands right now with some good companies that we're just getting together.
Yeah,
What's
and you still have like you still have a small handful left. So, like very small, but you can still be able to at least talk to like family. You have
survivors,
like real references while they are still alive.
Yeah, and crazy enough, very close to Vancouver on the border here at like an hour away, Bellingham, they have their own tribute there, and I think there is one remaining family like an hour away from me. And the last time I was in LA, I did go to the memorial, the Gopher Book Memorial, just by Little Tokyo. So seeing the names, a very famous medic, the T5 technician James Okubo, and seeing his name.
Doesn't he have a monument on Honolulu?
I believe
it was
so.
to him.
Yeah,
because in the park, I don't know which park it was, but they had this like giant monument. So, and I was there on vacation, so I just took like the 20-30 minutes to, and it actually on all four sides, it has a note on each branch that Japanese Americans were serving. So that was really cool. But yeah, next time you go back to the Gopher Broke Monument, it'll be a little bit different. Yes. So through Little Tokyo Service Center, it has we're almost finished. It'll be finished at the end of the year, but it is a veterans and low income housing structure that wraps around the Gopher Broke Monument now. So so it'll be different. It'll be a different energy. I think when you saw it, it's a little bit somber because there's probably someone like ran through the parking lot and into the monument, so they had to put up these barricades. So it was a little stark looking, but now it's wrapped around by all these veterans, assisted living and stuff like that. So we're very excited. It's going to be a different energy. So we'll see how Gopher Book will be a lot more engaged because it's tucked away in the back in Little Tokyo. So really excited about that.
Okay, I can't wait to check it out. Thank you for sharing that.
Gabriel, I think I'm interested in this topic of writing something, for writing our Asian stories. Because I think oftentimes a lot of people have great ideas in their head, but they're actually afraid to write it because the path to get it made can feel daunting, if not almost not realistic, given how few. We say this all the time. Like every year, we probably get like 8 Holocaust movies about World War II, but we never get these films that you're talking about or these stories that we're talking about. So, what is the path forward? Like, what's the best case scenario where I would actually be able to watch this in the U.S.?
Yeah, I think you're totally right. Programming is still a long way to go, and that's kind of what I mean about I'm not conclusive on some answers yet because we're searching for how to get these things programmed and for everybody to see it. I think there's been some amazing projects along the way like this, but I think just through the Asian filmmaking communities, Vancouver, again, an incredible filmmaking community here. You have people like doing Rice Boy Sleeps and stuff, and in LA, just totally different world. Like I want to list so many movies down, but it's and I think it's just through these channels and just the community effort we can get them rolling. I really think it's the renaissance of indie as we're seeing. Things like Obsession and Backrooms, obviously, like A24 Picture, but those both started off as indies, and I just think we're seeing a bit more of like that indie boom, and that's coming through just like filmmakers that are friends, and regardless of what communities they come from, it's about just getting your best Avengers of filmmakers together, and I think we have the power of marketing in our hands too with this digital age, which is great. Full of so many Asian people excel in that too. So I think that's like the avenue that I'm really like sights on right now is, just get it through the people that are active. And I think there's a lot of ways to do this here.
Great.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit more about you. navigating your career to date, you've got Avatar going now. Like, is it? I'm when I look at your credits, I know you've been on Shogun and different shows like that, but it does sound like this Avatar role is maybe the biggest role to date on the biggest IP to date. Has it been a different experience doing the media and the promotion for this? And is that something that you actually enjoy doing?
I of course, I love interacting with everyone on this. Avatar, it is my biggest project so far. I'm so passionate about it, and it is just such an rich story pulling from both indigenous and Asian folklore, and these stories and these showcases are important right now. You have an amazing cast of incredible actors, Asian actors, and Avatar is one of the best, richest fan bases out there too, full of so many Asian fans too that are the fans. They're everything, right? So I'm ecstatic to be on this press tour and press run to reach out to the fans, and I can't wait for people to enjoy it this way. So it's it's a first for me. I think the last time I did sort of big press runs was with Vogue Taiwan, but I've seen some parallels. Obviously, that's such a historically rich publication, but for doing it through Taiwan, which is really cool. And seeing it through Avatar, so I'm very excited.
Does have you kind of entered the world of Comic-Cons yet? Because you've done some video game work before, but with Avatar, that could also absolutely pull you into that world.
I would be elated to do something like that. I'm for whatever project I do, and especially the last few ones, I'm so much about getting into the level of imagination land, and just tapping into whatever state in your mind that will create this world vividly for you. So and the people at Comic-Con are just as much like that. So I think that's a community that I'd love to connect with. We'll see. I think
I'm welcome. I've been doing it for 10 years.
But
it's interesting. But let's assume you're going to have a Funko Pop, so you will have something that will be.
That was my question. You two know better than me. Is an Earthbender character at a level where we're going to see a Funko Pop? You think?
We'll see. I mean, Funko Pop, those are special. We'll see. But I did see in season 1, I think they had some custom ones made. So we'll see. But who knows? I think in due time, we'll find out with Forza. Obviously that just got released not even a month ago. So, and people are loving the characters and stuff. So who knows? Yeah.
Well, it's been great. It's been great talking to you. You're doing good work, and I think I'm even more excited about some of the work that we haven't even seen yet. So thank you for being passionate about this space and telling our stories as well. We do always have a couple wrap-up questions. Junko, I'll hand it over to you.
Yes. Yep. Since we are called United by Rice, what is your favorite rice dish?
Yeah, I knew this curveball question was coming.
Well, it kind of comes along with the title of the podcast.
It's not some of the other.
Rice noodles also count.
Rice noodles also count. Yeah, yes. I did think of this question. 100% katsu curry. Katsu curry. I could eat that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And going back to living in Japan, I was so lucky to live by katsu curry shop that was selling it for 600 yen and the juiciest, thickest cut,
which is $5 for a meal, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
My daughter thinks Coco Ichibanya is the best restaurant in the world. So every time we're in LA, we always drop by the one in Sawtell. We've even had it in Japan, and she said, it's not as good in Japan. It's better here. So I don't know if that's true or not. There is in Vancouver, I know there's a katsu place. I don't know if it's curry, although I'm sure you can get curry, but there's a katsu place, and I know I've waited outside. For an hour. It was so good. So
well worth it.
Do you make your own?
I love cooking, but katsu, I'm still I gotta perfect a little bit.
But the curry part, you're good with.
I make a fire curry. Sure.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
proper. That's a proper Japanese person right there.
Yeah.
All right, Gabriel, best of luck to you in these upcoming projects, and we are absolutely fingers crossed waiting for that Funko Pop to come out.
Totally.
It's been wonderful talking to you, and everybody check out Avatar and actually voicemails for Isabelle. 2 great projects on Netflix.
Absolutely.
Take
Yeah,
care.
thanks for having me. And hope everybody enjoys season 2 of Avatar: Last Airbender. We have an incredible 7 episodes coming up, so stay tuned. I think everybody's in for some pretty big surprises. Just like Bossing say, you never know what's going to happen. So
Excellent teaser. We'll leave it with that.
Yeah.